What is up, guys, and welcome back into the Rams house. And today I'm going to be talking about the lethal connection that is building between Matthew Stafford and Desean Jackson. Now, if you didn't know, in training camp, Matthew Stafford's really been sharing the ball a lot between a bunch of different receivers and building some chemistry between them, which is really exciting and encouraging to hear. And Desean Jackson is one of the players, obviously, and I know a lot of people's stance on him on the LA Rams is just like, please stay healthy, you're 34 years old, the injury past is just kind of concerning everybody, but I think that this connection is going to be really lethal, and I think he's going to be playing more games than people expect this season. But here's why I think he's not going to be getting injured as frequently or as quick as people think. I could be wrong. I'd be willing to admit I'm wrong, but I'm just going to break down what I think for you. So first, this connection between Stafford and Desean Jackson I think is going to be really good, simply because with a guy like Matthew Stafford, who has a strong arm, he's a gunslinger type quarterback. He loves to take shots deep. I mean, you see what he did in Detroit with Marvin Jones and people like that who really don't have a big name with themselves. And Stafford kind of helped build them up, build their name up, and he trusts his receivers. So I think with Desean Jackson, this can be the very same thing. He's a proven guy, and to be honest, it's kind of funny knowing when you hear Desean Jackson that he's probably going to be the third or fourth receiver in this Rams offense. And that brings me into my point why I don't think he's going to get injured as much. When Desean Jackson was on other teams like the Eagles or Washington football team, he was asked to be the number one guy, or at least most of the times number one or number two. But my main point is he was being used a lot, he's being played a lot, and just getting a lot of time, which, yeah, he's got more of a fragile type body, so that's going to wear and tear you, especially when you're getting older in the league. But the Rams are not going to be asking him to be a number one receiver. If you didn't know, we have Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, and you have Van Jefferson, and then obviously you have Desean Jackson, who we're talking about, and Tutu Atwell, and we got plenty of guys on this offense who can step up at the receivers. Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods are going to be your first two guys that you're going to be going to. I could even see Van Jefferson getting more playing time than Desean Jackson. So when you put Desean Jackson in there in those plays, people are going to have to respect your speed, and obviously it opens this whole thing up for the offense where you have a speed guy back in here now. That's going to really help all the other guys around him. But this connection we're seeing building in training camp with the Rams at Matthew Stafford and Desean Jackson is really encouraging, and we have a guy now in Matthew Stafford, not a knock on Goff, but who really can hit guys in stride. And yeah, Goff did that before, but the last year we really didn't have a deep threat, and Goff was not confident enough to take the shots. But you have a guy in Matthew Stafford who can fit it there. It's been talked about by Jalen Ramsey and Sean McVay and even Johnny Hecker. They're noticing these things that really wasn't in Jared Goff, and they're like first beginning to really realize it with Stafford. So when you have a guy in Desean Jackson who you can hit in stride, who you gotta respect as a safety or a cornerback, that he can hit you deep and he still can beat you, or even if it's one-on-one coverage, you have Stafford, who has been, like I said, he's been raved about in day 2, and now it's day 3, but in day 2 with his ball placement. And when you think it's covered, like Ramsey said, when you think you got everybody covered, or when you think you have your guy completely shut down, Stafford fits it in there. So with Desean Jackson, he's not going to be asked to be the number one guy. He's not going to be put in all the time, because that is not really why the Rams brought him in. They have a guy in Tutu Atwell also who brings some speed. But he's not going to be asked to do that. He's going to ask for that speed and special packages, or even as a decoy where people think he's going to go deep, but he really doesn't, and it's a decoy for a guy like Woods or Kupp or Jefferson to get open on the play. So I think this combination is going to be lethal, with a cannon of an arm that Stafford has in the ball placement, and then a guy like Desean Jackson who has that speed. And with him not being played as much, which is what I think, obviously again I could be wrong, but I don't think he's going to be asked to be in every play, or at least like 75% of the plays. He's not going to be asked to do that, so that's going to help keep him fresh, keep his legs fresh, so he can run faster and get open better, always be fresh for the next play. And also he won't have as big of a chance to be injured because he's not asked to be a number one guy. And so when you put all those things together, I think this is going to be a lethal combination. Let me know what you think down below. And if you do like Rams content, please make sure to hit the subscribe button, because that is all I do on this channel. I just make Rams stuff for everybody who's a Rams fan or even isn't. So if you could do that for me, I'd really appreciate it. As always, horns up and God bless.